Ah yes, Union Pacific's Big Boy 4014, the most overrated locomotive of all time. While this locomotive is no stranger to me as it has crossed my home state of Kansas many times and I've seen it just about every time it's come through, every time the schedule's released I always feel compelled to go shoot it again. The reason for this is pretty self-explanatory. It's a steam locomotive on the main line, which is always cool no matter how overrated it is. In March of 2026, Union Pacific announced that Big Boy 4014 would be making a tour around the country to promote the Norfolk Southern merger to the public under the disguise of America 250. Now this news made me kind of upset because I'm a diehard UP and S merger hater, but conveniently the tour was going to be coming through Kansas when I was planning to be in Kansas City for my birthday, so I didn't really have a choice but to see it. A few of my friends also wanted to chase it out of Salina with me this year, so I decided to tag along with them for that. Picking up right where we left off in the last video, on the afternoon of July 21st, after concluding all of my foaming on the Arkansas and Missouri Railroad, my dad and I drove up to Kansas City to see the Big Boy. We arrived into Kansas City at 3:30 p.m., a good 2 hours before the Big Boy was supposed to be at Union Station. However, one of my dad's friends had driven all the way up from Wichita to Lee's Summit to see the Big Boy, and he let us know that it had come through Lee's Summit about 45 minutes ahead of schedule, so we dropped all plans of rail fanning before the Big Boy came in and headed straight to Union Station. Unlike the normal bystanders, I decided to think outside the box and not go to the Union Station parking garage or the Freight House Bridge. While I was planning this trip, I found a shopping center across from Union Station that had a parking garage with a great view of the main line, so I decided to pick that spot even though I was expecting it to be crowded. I ended up being dead wrong. You know how many people were on this parking garage? 6. There were 6 people on this parking garage. What made this even more rewarding is that parking at this parking garage was $5, while parking at the backlit Union Station parking garage was $20. Excitement aside, once we had gotten parked and got our camera set up, the rear DPUs of a BNSF intermodal that had been parked there for about half an hour departed. Nothing else happened until 4:45 that evening when the Big Boy finally arrived into Union Station after its long journey from Jefferson City. It was met by cheers of excitement and joy, and anger from me at UP 1776. The Hancock 3 chime did not just signal the arrival of Big Boy 4014 into Union Station, but also the arrival of a westbound BNSF intermodal that I got a pretty good shot of. Following the passing of that intermodal, we began packing up our things to head to other locations to railfan that evening, but as I was just getting ready to go, my dad excitedly yelled, "KCS!" And then this happened. The BNSF Cement City Local with an SD40 on it for some reason had a perfect meet with a westbound CPKC empty grain train that had a KCS Thunder Cab Ace leading. Out of the entire trip, this is one of my favorite shots I got the entire week. After this meet happened, we left the parking garage and went to get some barbecue for dinner before doing a bunch more railfanning until sunset. We did a lot of railfanning that evening and the next day, but you're gonna have to wait till the next video to see all that action. Right now, we're gonna be skipping ahead to my birthday morning of Thursday, July 23rd. On this morning, my dad and I got up early to head to Santa Fe Junction to meet up with my grandparents to catch the big boy leaving town. There was a bunch of action before the big boy came by, but just like we did with Union Station, we're going to be skipping all that and cutting straight to the chase. That was a terrible phrase to use because we did not chase the big boy this day. Originally, my plan was to shoot the big boy on the south side of Santa Fe Junction, but then I noticed this hill that was practically calling my name. And so at about 8:45 in the morning, 15 minutes before the big boy was supposed to leave Union Station, me and a bunch of other rail fans climbed the hill seeking a great photo opportunity. And great photo opportunity it was. Despite pulling the infinite burr glitch and getting poison ivy, this shot was going to be so worth it. And once you see what happened when the big boy passed by, you're gonna agree with me. Like I said, we had all climbed the hill at about 8:45, so it wasn't long before we heard the distinct whistle of 4014 off in the distance and started seeing steam approaching. And just as the big boy was approaching Santa Fe Junction, something so awesome, amazing, and insane happened that I'm just gonna let play for you guys because I don't want to spoil it. I think that one uses a Mopac caboose. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but it's gonna have a Mopac caboose on the back though. Now I don't know what to film. Enlarged gentleman or caboose? That's right. The big boy raced a Missouri Pacific transfer caboose through Santa Fe Junction. To say my jaw was on the ground when I took this picture would be an understatement. This is by far one of the coolest moments I've ever witnessed as a rail fan. Does it hold a candle to 2102 Racing 4014? Probably not, but still, the fact that this was unplanned and unexpected makes it so cool. I think from now on, Kansas City is going to be my location of choice for shooting the big boy. Once the big boy was gone, the excitement may have been over, but my rail fanning for that day sure wasn't. But again, you're gonna have to wait till the next video to see all that. Moving ahead to the next day, July 24th, my friends Wichita rail fanning and WAMX 3829 wanted to chase the big boy west of Salina, Kansas, so I decided to tag along with them. And so we left Wichita early that morning heading north to Salina. The guys had put me in charge of picking the spots, so you know I was gonna pick some bangers because I can't just get a boring crossing shot. Case in point, Bavaria, Kansas. Wait, why is there a guy in the middle of the shot? Alright, there we go, much better. This was a shot I had botched during the 2024 tour, so I was very glad to be starting the chase at this bridge so we could actually get the bridge shot this year. Jumping ahead to the unincorporated community of Carnero, Kansas, we catch the 4014 putting on a good show as it climbs 9 Mile Hill. The fireman tried to steam me with the cylinder cocks here, but I was 25 feet back, so it didn't do anything. Our next shot would be the worst of the day, a quick grab shot at Ellsworth before continuing west. As we were driving from Ellsworth to our next location, the three of us thought we saw the headlight of an eastbound, but considering that this is the KP with its 2 trains a day, we thought we were just seeing things. Nope, the train ended up being an eastbound manifest from Ellis with not 1, not 2, but 3 SD70Ms for power. After this, the three of us all agreed that had the big boy not been in play, we would have chased this train back east. Foreshadowing. The next location we would catch the big boy at would be a little ways east of the whistle stop at Wilson, Kansas, where we caught it crossing over this neat trestle. Also, the sun has come out to ruin our day. Our last shot of the day would be the big boy coming through a horrifically backlit S-curve west of Wilson. While we were getting lunch at Spangles and Salina on our way back to Wichita, I suddenly remembered about the grain elevator on the east side of town that has two rare switchers parked at it, so after we finished lunch we drove over there to check it out. The two switchers are an SW1200 and an SW1. I think the SW1 is my personal favorite of the two. There's not really a whole lot to say about these because they just live at this grain elevator, so we're just gonna move on. Also, there was this UP manifest parked in the yard with an absurdly long lash up. I don't even know how this many locomotives get into one spot on the KP, but it happened somehow. Just then I looked west down the tracks and saw the headlights of an SD70M approaching, which means that we somehow managed to time our arrival into Salina with the arrival of the Ellis local. So we rushed over to the yard office and caught them going by there. Once we had caught them at the yard office, we rushed back to the grain elevator to get one more shot. Once the SD70Ms had parked, we left Salina and started heading back to Wichita. The plan for when we got back to Wichita was to drop me off at the hump so that my mom could take me home. However, when we rolled up to the hump, this happened. That's right, Skull had an SD60M in the consist on this day. SD60Ms are universally hated by Skull Rail fans, including me, but seeing one in Wichita is super ooper duper rare, so we knew we had to document this. Plus, my mom wasn't even there yet. Shortly after they arrived onto the hump, they shoved back into South Yard, which was pretty weird because they had a pretty long train on this day. While Skull was shoving back, my mom arrived at the hump, but we couldn't leave just yet because there was a BNSF eastbound at South Junction. And what did this eastbound have on it, you ask? A Montana Rail Link SD70 Ace, and one of the former BHP ore ones too. And so this and the SD60M would be two great ways to end off our amazing day of chasing trains.